The Selfish Podcast acknowledges the traditional owners of the land and waters that this podcast is recorded on.
Everything that we discuss on the Selfish Podcast with Chloe and Steph is for informational purposes only. It's either our own experiences, opinions and insights or our guests. It's not intended to be a substitute for professional medical advice and should not be relied upon as health or personal advice. It's time to prioritise yourself and your well-being. Subscribe now and get ready to put yourself first with the Selfish Podcast. Hey there, beautiful people, and welcome to the next episode of the Selfish Podcast with Chloe and Steph. You are here with Steph, hi, and Chloe.
Hi, everyone.
Hi. So, and we normally do this in person, but we're doing it over Zoom today. So, yeah, which is quite fun.
It's nice to see you on a.
Lovely to see you too.
No, I like seeing you next to me, but this is equally as nice.
Yeah, it is nice. It is nice. So it's currently we're recording on. It's my Sunday afternoon. It's closed Monday morning because I'm in the US for work. So yeah, I've got my drip coffee in true US style in the hotel room. I've got like you know how in Australia like you might have like a pod espresso machine. Over here we've got like the drip coffee machine. So like super weak coffee, but I quite like American coffee.
Does it taste shit?
I quite like it. I don't know what's wrong with me, but I do like a good strong like flat white or piccolo or whatnot, but I also do really like the drip.
I think I know what you're talking about. I don't think I like it. I feel like it's too watery for me.
It's very watery. Yeah, it's really watery. Yeah. What are you drinking?
Yeah. So I've got a hot chocolate. I just posted it to our story.
Very good.
Just to share. I added in a couple of marshmallows.
Oh,
Thoughts
yummy.
on adding the addition?
Yeah, I'm not a massive marshmallow fan, to be honest. I like my marshmallows burnt to a crisp.
Me too.
On a
Same.
twig that's dirty over a campfire. So
I enjoy it like that too.
Probably, but if your hot chocolate's warm enough and they melt properly, I'm okay with it. I just don't like marshmallows in there.
Yeah, it has to melt. I don't like in their true form.
No, I don't like it in their true form.
I hate it like that too. They've got to melt, but then it just like adds a sweetness. So you're over in San Fran. Tell me, when did you arrive? What's happening?
I got here. So I left on 11/11 in the 11/11 portal. I arrived in 11/11. So I've had double the time in that portal. I did a lot of manifesting. So we'll see how that went. But you know what, like anyone who flies, you know, domestically or internationally, like the 24 hours before you go is always just an absolute mad rush. And because I'm here for a specific work project and a specific work event, like work has been ramping up, and then like Hugh and Freddie got sick last week, so I was trying to juggle everything. So it was a bit of a task. Like I felt a lot of relief when I was sitting on that plane to go, okay, fine, we're finally here.
So when did you pack?
The night before.
So I'm just going to share with everyone.
Ridiculous coat with me. I bought this ridiculous coat with me because I thought it would be cold. Do not need it. It is sunny in California. It is beautiful out there. Like I'll send a picture of the background that I'm looking at because it's just stunning. But yeah, packed the night before, pulled out my biggest suitcase. Like it's ginormous because I'm like, I don't care how much stuff I'm taking, and I'm obviously packing at the last minute, and it's never a good idea to pack at the last minute.
No.
So normally,
can you shut up for a second? Fucking hell.
Delay.
So Steph is like messaging me literally like maybe 12 hours before she's to leave, and she still hasn't fucking packed. And I was like, woman, pack your bags. Stop procrastinating.
Well, actually, I did half of my packing the night before, and then I went to put Freddie to sleep, and I was so tired I fell asleep with him. So I did most of my packing, the morning of.
Crazy woman.
But you know what? Like I was thinking about this, and I think we had a quick chat about it offline last week. Like I feel like it's sort of like a badge of honor to take a small bag with you, and like look how well I packed. And I'm like, fuck that. I'm going to pack everything I own. I'm going to pack for every single season. I actually do not care because I can't be bothered putting in the mental work around what I need to pack and thinking it through thoroughly.
Although you have inspired me to be a better packer because you kind of do your outfits beforehand.
Yeah, I didn't this time, but yeah, I have before.
Oh, you didn't this time.
I didn't this time.
See, I kind of think, yes, I totally agree with the suitcase size, 100%. But I do really like how in previous trips that you have taken, you've done your outfits, because I feel that releases or relieves yourself, especially you, because you're on the go and it's not a holiday. Like you can kind of be very organized. I really liked that.
Yeah, no, so this time I did try on the outfits pre-leaving, but I wasn't as organized as the first trip.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But it's warm, sunny, don't need the big furry teddy coat.
No, I've got it here with me.
Yeah, that's like
totally unnecessary.
A winter coat, yeah.
Totally unnecessary, but whatever.
Whatever. It looks great.
Whatever. Yeah, and how was your weekend? Tell me everything.
Yeah, we had a great weekend. We had the, as many of you would have seen on our socials, we had the Housing Institute Australia, so HIA awards here in SA, and Adam works for a local builder down here, and they are very gracious in taking us all with them to these awards ceremonies. And our house was in 2 categories actually, and we walked away with winning one of the categories and then coming runner-up in the second. So yeah, it was really exciting. And then the company that he works for also like took out another 2 awards as well on the night. So it was really like high vibe and such a great group of people and a really fun night on the dance floor. And too much champagne, but actually woke up.
Is that such a thing?
Super fun night. What else did we do? We just stayed in town.
I think we need to talk about your outfit for a little bit, okay? So you looked like so amazing. So amazing.
Thank you.
I want all the details of what you're wearing. I know you do, but I'm like, if I look like that, I would be posting it everywhere.
You're going to make me blush. Stop it.
You looked amazing. Like that outfit was just like absolute perfection. You were absolute perfection.
You're going to make me cry. Thank you. I appreciate you. Look, I think I kind of have alluded to this before, that this has struck a chord, but I'm just going to say it anyway. So I've been working a lot on myself, as everyone knows, for many years, and one of the things that has come up for me quite a bit over the past 2 years is around power. And I've done like some timeline work, I've done a lot of stuff around it, but there's still some tendrils around making myself small or shrink in order to make others feel comfortable. This is all in my head. I don't know I probably don't make others feel uncomfortable. Like I don't even know, but this is just my own reflection and self-talk in my head, which I'm trying to overcome. So that was probably a big deal for me to kind of wear that outfit because, there was a bit of skin showing, and I guess my body was on display a little bit more.
No, your body should be on display. We need to get your body to the people. We need that. Take off this jumper.
No. Thank you, darling heart. Yeah.
And did you fake tan?
I did, yeah. Just the morning of, actually, I've got just the mitt with I love the foam. It's just the
what brand?
Yeah.
Is it Bondi Sands or
Bondi Sands.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah, Bondi Sands. Yeah. So just the hour tan, and then we went to a place that had a pool, and I just quickly put the tan on, and then we went to the pool like a couple of hours later. But I got in the pool without showering it off, and then
you're disgusting.
I'm so gross. So I was with a couple of girls. They're like, you can get in the pool, but just like, I was like, but what is it? Is it going to like get all
your
funny?
fake tan is just in the pool.
But it was fine. I just rubbed it in as well. Yeah. So great tan, and it's a great night. I bought these new like pointed heels for the event, and my feet at the end were not good.
Not good.
No, at all. So anyway, yeah.
It was worth it. Well, you looked amazing. You know, pain is beauty is pain.
Beauty is pain. Is it though? Really?
Yeah.
Anyway. Sometimes.
You know, to get the look, I'm happy to hurt sometimes.
True.
Yeah.
True. Also the look. Yeah.
Yeah. So for those people that missed the story, we'll have to do another one when the episode comes out. So you can see so you can see the fit. You can see the fit.
Stop it.
No, I'm being serious. Yeah, no, seriously. We're in a group chat, and I'm like, Chloe, send everyone your photos. So I had to do it. I'm like, I'm not letting this pass. Everyone needs to see this.
Yeah, it was nice. It was good. It was a good night.
Yeah. And you've been putting yourself out there in other ways as well.
Have I? What have I been doing?
Yeah, well, with the photo shoot you did in Noosa. How are you feeling about that? Because again, those pictures are stunning.
Yeah, I actually haven't. Oh my God, we've got this one guy. I just have to share. So this noise outside right now is like a normal bike, and he's this guy. He must be a chef or something because he leaves at like ridiculous hours in the morning and comes back at a stupid time as well. And he's
must be a chef then.
Motor on the bike. So it's like,
oh goodness!
You can hear it literally. Like I would say he's like 2 kilometers away, and you can hear him coming, and it gets closer and closer, and then
oh goodness!
Sorry. Anyway, he just went past. So what was I talking about? Distraction. Get me back into our room.
About the photo shoot. About discomfort and photo shoot.
Oh yeah. Okay. You're really like kind of getting me today.
Yeah, I'm really getting in there. We don't have to go there if you don't want to.
No, it's fine.
We don't have to.
No, it's all good. So had the photo shoot a couple of weeks ago when I was in Noosa, and decided to do it up there because they've got this like most amazing space and just really beautiful like kind of architecture and all the things. So yeah, kind of went up there and had this branding shoot and had to go and buy new clothes because I hadn't taken anything with me. It was like literally kind of like spare of the moment, texted this photographer who had been recommended, and if she was available, I was like, oh, it's meant to be. And literally 2 days later, she was like, she's like, yeah, no, I can see you in 2 days. I was like, okay.
Meant to be. Meant to be.
Yeah. So I don't know how anyone else feels, but in front of a camera, I felt very uncomfortable. And, it's just, well, I guess unless you're a model or something and you're kind of taught how to hold yourself or like whether you're meant to pout or smile or how you hold your body, it was really, it was only an hour that we were together and we got so many great photos in that time, but you can kind of tell as the session went on, I relaxed more, and those photos are much better than kind of the first lot.
Amazing.
So,
well, I saw a few and they look, fantastic.
Thanks. I can share a few with everybody. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's for the new coaching business.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Well,
yes. So I am. No, this is great.
Inquiry minds need to know.
Yes, everyone might like to know. I am a manifestor.
We talked about it. We talked about it last week.
We did. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, we have already spoken about it. Great.
Yeah, I'm not bringing up new. I'm not launching your.
Well, I haven't launched it yet, but I will. I am going to put together a like mastermind in the next month, I think, and so there will be some launching stuff. But very exciting. So I'm happy to share, and if anyone wants to join the mastermind, very welcome.
Come on down.
Come on down.
Awesome.
No, I'm not.
No, I think that's awesome. And it is. It's hard. Like I know when we first started the podcast, and recently I did a post on my LinkedIn, so which I felt really vulnerable after sharing that. So recently I did a post on my LinkedIn about the podcast.
Yeah.
Because obviously we've shared it with our family and friends through Facebook and Instagram.
Yep.
And just after Arthur died. So I had done a post just before he was born of me pregnant. So it was basically saying, hey, by the way, I'm about to go on leave, about to have my baby, because I've been working online, like you might not know. And so I sort of did a post about, you know, when you're working from home, a lot of stuff can be happening to people that you don't know. So I did a picture of me like this. Yeah. And then I did a picture of me sort of like from the side with my big tummy.
Okay.
So I literally posted that like a week before he was born. And part of me, like going back, when everyone knows you're pregnant and then you're going back and you don't have a baby, it's very, very vulnerable going into a work situation. And returning to work was so hard because I was like, what if people ask me? What am I going to do? What am I going to say? How am I going to react?
But can I just ask, is this your last that was your last post that you did on LinkedIn?
That was one of my last posts. Yeah. Right. So I did that post on LinkedIn. Then after Arthur died, I actually did a post saying this had happened because I was like, I just want everyone to, like, for me, letting people know was a way of just like not having them bother me. It was sort of just, and I was quite vulnerable. And then I was like, fuck, I've been as vulnerable as I'll ever be. Why can't I? And so that was my last post. Yes. Telling them what had happened. Yes. And then I hadn't really done anything since. So it was sort of like, why not? And that was very hard to share. Yeah. But I hadn't really shared anything since about anything. I think I shared some of our fundraising stuff when we first launched. Oh, no, that was the same post. Yeah, that was the same post. I'd done that post and then hadn't done anything since. And the support was overwhelming. But it was like, part of me was like, why did I share that at the time? Like, but I think I'm glad I did, because then it just allowed everyone to sort of know what had happened, and I didn't need people to ask me. Yeah. Like, to me, that was my defense mechanism, was like, get in front of it. Yeah. You know, so which makes sense. And so anyway, so then I thought, when I was toing and froing about this post, I thought, well, I've shared the most, you know, intimate parts of my life. Why not? But even after that, I didn't look at my post for a week because I was so scared about what people, well, not scared, but I just didn't want to have to deal with the reaction. I don't know. It's that vulnerability hangover. I think we've talked about it before.
We did. I think we spoke about it earlier on the pod. Yeah, totally. Oh, I think when you put yourself out there in whatever kind of way, shape or form, like you can, and you be vulnerable and let people see you for who you authentically are, and that honesty and that truth, then, sometimes with that comes that, but then it's fine, right?
Oh, absolutely. Then it's fine. Yeah, then it's fine. And I think it's just, it is scary to open up different parts of your life. And like part of me was like, oh fuck, what did I say in those earlier episodes? Like what are we going to say now? But it's sort of, it took a while, and then I'm like, okay, I'm over it now. Whatever, it will be what it will be. So if we've got any new listeners, hi, welcome to the pod. Great to have you.
We're here. Being real.
Exactly, being real.
Realness. I do want to, though, I did pass on a book for your flight. Have you started it?
Of course I've started it.
Tell us. What are your thoughts?
Hey. The table. Yeah, okay, so that's how far in I am here. I've read that much.
Oh, not very much at all.
Chapter 13, 100 odd pages.
Yeah, you've been gone for a few days.
There's other stuff to do. I'm loving it.
Yeah, you are?
Well, it was about 17 hours. Yeah, I had to sleep.
Yeah, you did have to sleep. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'll finish it before I come home. I promise you I'll do that.
There's other girls back here like,
oh, they want the
holding
book.
out for when you get back. And I said,
well, it will be done.
Yeah,
it'll be done. No, I promise you it'll be done before I leave.
I think that you will have it done.
Yeah. No. I totally am fully.
And I think I'll have this done like when you get back to. So I am like, 3/4 of the way through the second of the 5.
Oh, brilliant.
And so when I was at the hotel, one of these other girls was there, and who I hadn't met before, and she like saw that I was reading this, and she was like, oh my gosh, I've read like all of them. I've got 3 tattoos.
Sorry, what?
She has tattoos because of these novels.
Wow, amazing. So for those who didn't listen to, or can't remember what we were talking about last week, This is
Sorry.
the series
A
A Court of
Court.
Thorns.
Yeah.
So The Court of Thorns and Roses is the first book.
Yes. And then A Court of Mist and Fury is the next. So they're all different courts. A court is kind of equates to a state, I guess, in this fantasy fiction series. So anyway, I'm loving it. I'm not going to give too much away, but it's really great. I just have not finished a book. I think I said this last week. I was like, I just haven't finished a book. And for me now to be like 300 pages into my second book in 2 weeks is just like really
amazing,
quite phenomenal for me. So yeah, loving it. I'm loving diving into just like another world of fantasy and, just, I don't know, it's just great. I feel happy.
Yeah, I agree.
Happy to escape my own life. Is that normal?
So, yes, we all want to escape our own lives. Usually we do it through drugs and alcohol, but if we can't do that, then we do it through books. So
we do it through books. Okay. Well, I think that's a better choice, right?
I think
for
it's
our
a great
bodies.
Choice.
Yeah.
And it's great for our mind as well.
Great
I know that
because
my past few last books have been memoirs and stuff. So this is actually or they've been quite serious. So this has been a beautiful, refreshing.
Yeah. Mine are always like self-development or, I'm like, no. It's time to move on from those for a little bit, give myself a bit of a break from that and get into this. It's so good.
I love that.
So I've got the next, so this girl that I met by the pool, she's like told me the next couple of ones by the same.
So was she, okay. So was she known to you by the pool? Was she in the same group as you or is she just total random?
Well, no, she was like known through another girlfriend.
Okay.
Yeah, but I hadn't met her before. So
awesome.
Yeah, it was great.
How to make friends. Read these books.
Read these books, guys. Seriously. Was there any other questions that you had to ask me, or?
No, the interrogation's over.
Thank you. Well, we can start again next week, I guess. So maybe I can interrogate you next week because I need to hear all the things about this trip.
Yes.
Which I know you kind of like haven't gotten into it just yet. So we'll go through.
Yeah, I'll tell you all the details. Yeah, I can tell you all about my US experiences next week. But I haven't been here even 24 hours yet. So still.
Wow.
That
is crazy. I feel like you left. Yeah, I guess you only left.
Well, it took 24 hours to get here, right?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So what's in the stars for us this week?
Yeah. Okay. So today, when we're recording on the 13th, is the new moon in Scorpio. So we'll still kind of be in that when we release this on the 15th, we'll still kind of have that energy around us, which I think we did talk about last week. Anyway, I'll just give a refresher. So the new moon is typically like the lowest energy period out of the month, and it's a great time to establish new goals, habits, and mindsets for yourself. It can often be about closing like one chapter of your life and then like starting a new chapter. So like endings and beginnings, which is quite kind of the synchronicity, I guess, around the like 11:11 portal as well, kind of is amplifying everything. You might like to spend more time alone and reflecting kind of on next steps and kind of like, thinking about what you want to step into.
I was just going to say, just on the synchronicity thing. So what day was it? When I caught my flight, the boarding was called at 2:22. This was on 11:11. The boarding was called at 2:22 from gate 22 and I was in seat 2.
Whoa. Have you looked up what 2 means?
How's that for synchronicity?
That's amazing.
Yeah, two's my number. 2's my favorite one. But then I got off the plane, the car in front of me was 999. So I was like, ooh.
Yeah. It's so wild, isn't it? Like
twos.
A lot of 2s.
I've just been seeing a lot of recurring numbers.
Why is that? We kind of had it when we first started the pod and then it kind of died down and now it's like amped up again. It's weird. Let us know, everyone else out there, if you're seeing recurring numbers too, because we'd love to know. I'm sure there's something in it. I think it's a pretty powerful time this time of year.
222 is so you're aligned to your life path. You're where you're meant to be. The answers you seek are available. The universe is supporting you in every way.
Beautiful.
That's a good one.
Love that. I love that. So, yeah, really at the moment, yeah, we've got the new moon, and then we've also got the sun, which that's on the 13th too. That's like today, opposed Uranus. So it's all about embracing change and gaining new perspectives and expecting the unexpected, which is cool. I think you could be kind of worried about that. You could be excited for that.
What are you, worried or excited?
I'm excited. I'm feeling pretty good at the moment. So, first day of my bleed though today, which is quite potent when it aligns with like a new moon or a full moon. So my cycle has been like realigning. So I used to, like a couple of months ago, would bleed with the full moon, and now it's like slowly shifted, and now I'm bleeding with the new moon. So again, all about like new beginnings.
We're getting closer together as well.
Yeah. Have you just finished yours?
So I just finished mine, yeah.
Yeah. Yep, which is very normal for females who spend a lot of time together to sink into the flow.
It's amazing. Isn't it just amazing?
I love it. It's so good. So, so good. So, yeah, all right. Anything else? Or are we doing a card?
I think let's do a card.
Yeah? All right. I've got the lucid dreams one again, which is very beautiful. You didn't take cards with you, did you?
I didn't. Yeah,
No.
sorry.
No.
One thing I didn't pack. I packed like 20 pairs of shoes.
Oh.
I didn't really. 5 pairs.
5 pairs. Oh, gosh. I'm just going to give it a little shuffle.
Maybe 6 pairs. But I only packed 1 pair of flats.
Did you take the boots in the end?
No, I didn't take the boots.
You didn't do boots.
No boots. I'll take some outfit pics, and I can
share it with us. I just always, in my mind, I was always like LA, San Fran, like perpetually sunny and hot. And so it was like perplexing to me that you were like, no, I'm going to take like jackets and stuff.
It was perplexing to me too.
Anyway, all is good. All right, what have we got? I'm going to do that one. You know when you pick it upside down? Okay, I got the 3 of Cups, which... Okay, if I pull it upside down, it's like independence, third-party situations, scandal, gossip, over-partying, no support, solitude, being forced to conform, lack of time for others. Well, okay.
Okay.
But if I read the other way up, celebrations, friendships, collaborations, community, circle of support, social events, creativity, and your place of shared joy.
Oh, well, maybe it's both, because I'm on the other side of the world. Ooh. So maybe it's like, maybe we're picking it up both ways.
True. I love it. So the 3 of Cups is all about social life and celebrations. There are feelings of beauty, growth, compassion, and happiness being shared. The 3 of Cups is about spending quality time with people that you cherish in your life.
That's beautiful. And especially as we come into Christmas.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's really like love, starting a relationship, mutually beneficial relationships, working together as a team, career, good relationships with colleagues, helpful business partnership, balanced finances, financial security, and not feeling financially stressed. And the reverse is not that bad either, actually. So it's love, friendship turning to romance, social gatherings leading to romance, career, planning a celebration at work, happy and joyous office environment, and finance, spending on social life, financial stability, and reaching financial milestones.
That's great.
Yeah. Who cares that I pulled it upside down?
I love the upside down one. I like it.
So 3 of Cups, everyone. I wonder how that applies to you out there.
Yes,
anyway.
Yeah. Please let us know.
Yeah.
Now, today we have a very exciting guest joining
so
us.
exciting.
So exciting. And I just want to share a little bit. So when we were thinking, when Chloe and I were talking about this topic, we were thinking, who do we get? And then like next minute, go onto Instagram and this account pops up. Wow. We're like, well, it's meant to be. So contacted her and she said she would love to be on the pod. So we're so thrilled to have her here with us today. Yes. Her name is Kimberley Gallagher. She's a renowned Feng Shui expert and founder of the Feng Shui Flow. She's recently moved to Broadbeach Waters in the Gold Coast from the United Kingdom. She's a firm believer in the power of energy, the law of attraction and manifestation, and hosts her own podcast, The Feng Shui Flow, where she shares practical tips on how to use Feng Shui to enhance all aspects of life. Her own transformational journey began during the 2020 lockdown. And I'm not going to actually go into her bio anymore because I don't want a spoiler alert. I don't want a spoiler alert because we do discuss it in the interview.
I think that's great. Yes. Amazing.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
It's a really good one, guys. Enjoy.
Yeah, enjoy.
Thank you so much for agreeing to come on our podcast. Kimberley Gallagher is here in the room with us. Can you tell us, Kimberley, a little bit about you? Who are you and how did you get into Feng Shui?
Okay, are you ready for this story? So yes,
we're so ready.
I'm Kimberley and I'm the owner of the Feng Shui Flow. And up until 3-4 years ago, I'd heard of Feng Shui, but didn't really understand what it was. I just thought it was all about having white furniture and really, really clean and tidy household. And I was like, that is not me. I have a family. I have a dog. I'm not that person. I'm not a naturally tidy person at all. But we hit lockdown in the UK and we got hit quite hard. And it was 2 years of being in our homes. And I spent a lot of time, it was my daughter and I, my husband went off to work. So it was me, my daughter and my dog, which, was an interesting combination. And I made a conscious decision to be mindful as to where I was sort of listening to news, getting information from. So I turned off a lot of the main sort of channels and I started listening to more podcasts because I could sort of zone into what lifted my spirits. And I just so happened to stumble across a podcast talking about Feng Shui. And I'd just been made redundant from a teaching role. So I was a teacher for 10 years. Mm-hmm. And this lady was on a podcast it was a friend of mine, telling her that if she did some certain things in her home, she could attract a partner in her life. And my initial thought was, what a load of rubbish. Like, how on earth is that going to happen?
Yeah.
So I obviously had, a little bit of time on my hands. So I Googled away quite happily for the rest of the day. And I realized that a lot of banks have their own Feng Shui consultants. Shopping centers do, hotels do. So in Feng Shui, the placement of a fountain, if it's in the right area, will bring you wealth, prosperity, and abundance. So, Vegas isn't by accident like that, and a lot of shopping centers will have water fountains outside the front. A lot of hotels will. And it's all about just keeping that fresh, good energy sort of going.
Yeah.
Wow. I was like, oh, this is interesting. So why don't we know about it in our homes? Like, why is it this thing that nobody can access and it's really complicated? I looked at a few books and I was like, oh, I don't understand. And probably have to move house if I want our home to be, anything better than it was because our house in the UK was built in 1569. There were beams everywhere, tiny windows.
Sorry, I just had to register that. That's a long time ago. I just had 69 and then I was like, oh no, 15. Okay.
Yeah, 1569.
Yeah.
Yes. So yeah, I mean, it wouldn't suit any any sort of Feng Shui, but I thought, do you know what? Our house feels sticky. It feels like there's a lot of stress, which there was. We were spending a lot of time in a small space.
Yeah.
But I just started a business as well from being made redundant, and that felt hard. Like I felt I was giving everything, but it just wasn't working for me. I'd make headway and then I'd come across a big brick wall and it just felt really sticky. And I thought, do you know what? I've got nothing to lose.
Yeah.
I'll have my house Feng Shui'd. And what that actually means is that you can have an analysis on your home, and this is what I do. So you have an analysis on your home to work out what energy is going on in your home. And it's not witchy. I do it all completely remotely. And it can be anything from that your home is more predisposed to arguments, for example, or injuries or illness or financial sort of problems. So it's all stuff that, sometimes people move into their home and go, oh, since we moved here, things have just gone from bad to worse. Like injury, illness, or we've lost our job and it just doesn't seem to work. So Feng Shui works on intention. So it sometimes described as like the missing piece of the manifestation puzzle. And I'm quite wary of using that word manifest because it's not this magic thing that happens. It's about intention. It's about just being clear on where you want to work, where you want to work towards. So the intention was that I put the remedies in my home. They're called remedies. It can be anything from changing colors in a few of your rooms to, it's really simple stuff. But my intention was to have a business that flowed. And it meant that work would come to me. I wanted to work with beautiful people around the world, and I wanted to help people. I'm somebody who wants to help people, and people tend to tell me their problems a lot, and I feel really annoyed that I can't do anything to help them. So for me, I was like, I want to do something that helps people, like teaching. I got that from teaching.
Yeah.
I wanted to earn a living that meant that I was completely independent, because that's important to me. And I also wanted to have a business that was completely remote, because at the time I was in the UK and we knew that we were coming over to Australia. So I didn't want to have to start again coming over here. And then a month later, I had an email from the lady who Feng Shuied my home to say that she was running her last ever certification program, and would I be interested in learning more and perhaps becoming a practitioner. And fast forward, 2 years, I'm here. I've had my business set up just 1 year now. I started it in November 23. In the February, I was asked to go on This Morning, which is the daytime morning show in the UK, to be their Feng Shui expert. So I went back on and spoke to them. I've, worked with magazines. And I think the best thing for me is that I work with women who, and it's mainly women, and I don't like saying that, but it normally is the sort of female of the household that picks up on the energies, and that they want to help people in their home. And I work with women who just feel that there's too many arguments, like people aren't happy. They've tried to do things, and the stories and the testimonials that I get back from people, I honestly feel like I'm the luckiest person in the world, because I get to work with people. Last week, there was a home in Tahiti, there's Australia, New Zealand, UK and Ireland. And it's the most beautiful job, and I feel so grateful. So that's a very long answer to your question.
No, that's a great answer.
I love that story.
Yeah, amazing. And that's right. Sometimes you walk into a room and you go, this feels good. Or it's more conducive for conversation, or it's like is that sort of what we're
That's exactly what it is. Yeah. And there's homes that just feel draining. Like I'm sure there's a house that you can think of that you went to go and visit somebody, and you come out and you just think, oh,
I just thought it was them.
But it tends to be this cycle that the home and the people, like the home represents the people and the people represent the home, and that energy, we have that saying that we pick up the energy of the 5 people that we spend the most amount of time around, but nobody really thinks about their home in that. So when you have a home that doesn't feel good, when you walk through the door, you want to feel like it's your sanctuary and it's your happy place. And your home should feel like the most supportive partner that you can have. Like they don't do the do for you, but it's there to help you and to have your back, and
like holds you.
Yes. Like when you go on holiday and you step into the hotel and you go, oh, and all of that noise stops. And that's quite often why when we go away, we have this clarity, we have this vision of, I'm going to come back from holiday and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to, this is the changes that I'm going to make. This is where I see, maybe if you've just been away, like you're like, this is where I see the podcast going, because that noise has stopped. And that's what in Feng Shui, we say is the energy in your home. It's like acupuncture for the home. You clear those energy blocks, you get rid of the negative energy, and you welcome in the good energy. And it stops that noise in your home. So you can feel like you have that creativity, that peace, the sleep, all of that comes from a Feng Shui space.
Beautiful. So can you tell us, Feng Shui, where does it originate from?
So
origins.
So it's a Chinese origin. It's been around for over 4,000 years.
Wow.
And it's got the most remarkable story and the most remarkable history. And I think when I was learning the practice, it took me a year to learn how I do things. There's lots of different schools of Feng Shui, it's a bit like the French language. There's, there's Canadian French, they're all different types of language. So the school that I learned is called the Flying Stars Feng Shui method. And it has evolved over the years. And I think when I was learning about it, I had this real epiphany that perhaps I could turn this into a language that more people can relate to, that more people can understand, and that you can implement it into a modern household. And there are definitely stricter ways that you can do things. And I'm not saying that I am the best Feng Shui consultant in the world. I am far from it. But what I do is, it's a bit like if you're following a diet and nutrition plan 100%, you're going to get results really quickly, but also it's going to be really hard. So I'm like, I sort of ease people into it and go, do you know what I will tell you will be enough for you to see changes in your life? So I've taken this practice, I give it a modern day twist. You won't see any, little trinkets or things around my house.
I was going to ask about that. I just got told to put like a turtle randomly in some like wealth corner of my home. And I was like, this seems a bit weird. I've got 2 young boys. They're just going to think it's a toy.
Yeah, and launch it, and then then does that mean you've broken your wealth?
Launch through the window, exactly.
That's not good for your wealth.
Yes, no. I love this.
So there are layers, there's layers to Feng Shui where you can, if you said to me, look, I am in this 110%, I will give you and tell you these little things and you can place them around your home. But my wealth corner, so in Feng Shui, we divide the home into 9 different areas according to the compass. And so your wealth area is the southeast area of your home.
Yes.
So my wealth area, I work with visual affirmations. And so you may have these trinkets, but does it actually mean anything? So whereas for me, I use visual affirmations. So I have pictures of us on 2 holidays that for me were like the most beautiful holidays. So one was skiing and one was in the Maldives. And for me, that represents, if I'm wealthy in my job, if I get wealth from my job, that brings me those holidays, but it also brings me time with my family. And that is what wealth is to me. So that's how I have sort of molded this ancient practice to say, that's wealth to me. What is health? Like using these pictures and things. So I did have a lucky cat in the UK, but that's because someone bought it for me in a Secret Santa and he was like, I had no idea what to get you. So I did. I put it in.
Yeah.
So I did. I put it in the area that it was meant to be, but it doesn't have to be that way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Brilliant. So, Kimberly, I used to live in Singapore a few years ago, and that's when I sort of first became interested in Feng Shui, because it is. We were the company I was working for was moving office, and we had a master Feng Shui consultant or Feng Shui master come in and mapped out everything, and it was just so interesting and how seriously it was taken for the prosperity of the business. But I found it very hard. I did like a 1-day course when I was over there, and oh my goodness, it was very, very difficult to follow. So I think the fact that you're doing this and making it accessible and making it realistic is just, brilliant, a brilliant offering.
Thank you. I feel it was, I've never chosen an easy pathway. I'm like, oh, nobody's done that. I'm going to go and do that. Like I'm just that person. And then halfway through, I think, oh, this is a bit tricky. But, I feel it's an incredible practice. And it blows my mind that businesses do it for prosperity. but nobody's doing it in their home. And I think, I mean, I might be wrong, but I think it's because there's so much information out there.
Yes.
But also it's really confusing. So like you say, you do a 1-day course and there's so many if, buts and maybes. It's like trying to learn to be a pastry chef in a day. Like, well, if the room's hot, then the butter's going to melt. And therefore, you know, it's all these like, yes, but, and then it goes on to this. So I do run a course to learn to be a practitioner, but it's 12 weeks and it's a really intensive 12-week course. And I feel that because I've had my teaching background, that I can pull the practice and my teaching together to be able to get that information across in a way that everybody can understand. I'm not saying that these courses aren't any good, because, you know, they are, but for me, Feng Shui is about, it's almost a way of being, but you don't have to, you know, be witchy and have smoke and feathers and all of these things around you. But it's a bit like where meditation was 10 years ago. And if somebody said, oh, I meditated, they'd think, oh, you're weird. Like,
Woo-woo.
a bit too woo for me. So I think for me, Feng Shui, that's what I want to do. I want to be the person that brings it back into the mainstream so that people can take these teeny tiny little, you know, tips and tricks and put them into their home. Or if they want to go full on, you know, lucky cat, then I will also
you can do that too. So could you tell us, like, is there like, how do we improve the energy in our home? And is there a special room, or is there a best room, or anything? Just give us all the tips.
How do we get started? Yeah.
So I think
tell us what to do.
Yeah, basically I've got a notepad and pen. So I think the first things, and it sounds like common sense, and it is common sense, but I think when you understand it in terms of energetic sort of language, it gives you a bit more oomph to do it, if you see what I mean. So the good energy in your home comes in through your front door. So that's where the good energy comes in, and the bad energy leaves through your back door. So what you want to do every day is open the back door and let the bad energy go out. And again, depending on whether you care what your neighbours think of you, you can say it out loud. Just, you know.
Oh, yeah. I love doing that.
Yeah.
Energy to
go. And then,
Kimberly, just to stop you for 1 second. So I live in a 2-story house. We spend most of our time upstairs. So I will often have the windows on the front of the house open. Yes. Is that like front door as well? Or does it have to literally be the front door of your house?
It would be both, but your front door is the entrance. Like this is
gotcha.
Because also you're bringing the energy in when you come in through that front door.
We come in through the back door. Is that bad?
Bad Feng Shui.
Okay. No. This is what we need to know. This is what we need to know.
But this is good. This is good. So a lot of people do that. And I find in Australia, houses tend to be like the other way around. And so without getting too sort of deep and complex about it, sometimes in Feng Shui, and this is where you start reading and you go, oh, no, I'm done. Like, this is it.
Too hard.
Done. I'm done. Like, this is, So in Feng Shui, the front of your house isn't necessarily the entrance where you come in.
Okay.
The front of the house is where its features are. So if you think of like a face, like the face would be the features, the more welcoming side, and the back of your home is like the back of the head that doesn't have the features. So for example, if you live on the water, the front of your home would be the front that looks over the water, and the entrance would be the other side. If you live in so then if you live in an apartment, the same happens. So where you walk in through your door in an apartment, that's your back door, Feng Shui wise, and your front, where the good energy is coming in, is the apartment sort of frontage, the prettier side of your home.
So I would then say that our front entrance in Feng Shui,
it sounds like it.
The side there?
Yeah.
The gate?
Yeah. I don't know. Anyway, I don't know.
I think you're going to have to get... It's fine.
But essentially, when we're looking at homes, it doesn't really matter. As long as you've got 2 doors
Yep.
And in an apartment, it would be the windows that would act as your door.
Gotcha.
So
Okay.
if you open them, so never try and have them open at the same time, because no matter which one you're opening, what you don't want to happen is for the good energy to come in and it to go straight out again.
Yes.
So you want to sort of keep it blocked in.
Okay.
So that's the first thing, is just when you come into your home, the good energy is coming in and the bad energy is leaving. And that then brings me on to, what do you have around you when you walk into your home? So when you walk into your home, does it make you feel happy? So what you want is for that good energy to come in and not be hit by, if you think it's like this gentle breeze that's coming through your home, if you've got coats and shoes and bags, it's going to be harder for that energy to move through your home. So that's why decluttering in Feng Shui is really important, because the less rubbish that's in the way, the easier it is for the energy to flow around and not get stuck in just stuff that's hanging around. So think about the entrance. Do you have, some people have those pictures that say crazy people live here, and they probably are, because it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. You know the things that
Yes.
I mean, and is it, when you walk in, do you have a nice picture that you look at and it makes you feel happy? So that's another thing, just thinking about the sort of comings and goings.
Okay.
And then in terms of, is there a particular area of your home? I think we divide the home, as I said, into 9 different areas. And the central part of your home looks after your health. That's your physical health and your mental health, and also like your self-acceptance. And it's probably the easiest one to work out, where it is in your home. So it's about keeping that area clear, having maybe your visual affirmations of what life looks like, especially if maybe your mental health or physical health isn't that great, having pictures there that make you feel good. Because if you're feeling that good on the inside, it will come out. And my only no for the center of the house is not burning candles in the center of your home, because the candle energy is going to be burning, and effectively you're burning that energy off in your health area, which is a pretty important space.
Wow.
Yeah. Very interesting. So just using the example of a 2-story house, so you would do, and I actually have booked a map of my home with you. I haven't sent you any of the details yet, but I have booked it because we want to do some renovations, and I was like, I think, like, there's just some stuff we need to move around.
Yeah.
And so if it's a 2-story house, is it the same 9 squares, like on the top and the bottom? Does one trump the other, or is it?
So just going back to what you were saying about that you live upstairs a lot of the time, I think for you, I would say what's really important is making sure that the energy is allowed to move from the downstairs and up to the upstairs.
Okay.
So if you think in a hotel, quite often they may have like a chandelier or some sort of like glass structure on the ceiling. And what that does is it just dissipates the energy. So when the energy comes through, you know how you see it like moves the light? It's also moving the energy around. So what we want to try and do is, plants can even do that. Having a plant at the bottom of your stairs can also just sort of deflect the energy around and push it up those stairs. But just going back to your question, your 9 areas of your home would be the same on the downstairs as it is on the upstairs. And whether you lived in Buckingham Palace, you would still only have 9 areas, or whether you lived in a studio flat, you would also have those 9 areas. So they can vary in size depending on the size of your home.
Wow.
Yeah. So interesting.
I feel I make a lot of people go very silent and just sort of stare at me.
So I'm just like,
I'm just thinking, I think your house has got great Feng Shui. Chloe, just thinking about it.
Yeah, we've just been through a renovation, Kimberly, and
Congratulations. I hope you're okay.
well, we made it through. But there were
still
times where I was
You're
not
still
okay.
married and you're still and you're living in the house.
Where,
So.
yeah, I haven't stabbed my husband, and we're enjoying the home. If you've got lots of glass,
Yes.
does the energy like move through that, or does that still hold it in? Like, what a window? A window's a good thing?
So windows are good because, again, that good energy comes in. What you want to try and avoid are mirrors opposite the window. So just like when you come into your home or opposite of a window, a lot of people, I think my most common question is, where can I put windows? So a mirror opposite a window would basically bounce that energy out again.
Yes.
Mm.
So if it's opposite a front door, that mirror would then bounce that energy back out again. So you want to try and keep the energy in. I think the only thing with having lots of glass is that you may have heard the term yin and yang, and it can be referred to basically opposites. And so in Feng Shui, yin is the sort of, the way I remember is yin rhymes with dim. So it's like the dim lighting, the lower mood, the calm, where you want to relax at nighttime. And then the yang is the bright, the effervescence, the energy of the home, where you want to be in the daytime. And it's about finding balance in your home so that you can actually then relax in your home. So a lot of windows can turn the home into a very yang home, which then makes it very hard to relax. So I definitely found that when we moved to our home, because as I said, like the back looks over the water and it's a lot of glass. So we invested in just some nice sheer curtains so that at nighttime we can pull the curtains across and you can turn this very yang space into a yin space. And it's just then allowing your body just to sort of relax a little bit.
Beautiful. Yeah.
It's like in a hotel room. They do the same thing.
Yeah.
So it's really bright, but then they have the technology in the room to then turn it into that nighttime space. Like when you have the turn down service at nighttime, they close all the windows, turn down the lights, the bed. And so they managed to flip this space very cleverly from being a yang space to a yin space.
I've never thought of it like that. That makes a lot of sense.
And I love that yin is dim. That just is so easy to remember.
It is.
Because I always no yin and yang. I never know which is which.
Yes, yeah, totally. And I think this is when I was learning about it, and like from my teaching background, it's like there has to be ways that people can remember these things, and just to be able to see spaces a little bit differently and not think, oh my gosh, I need to move home, or this is going to be awful and we're definitely going to have arguments here. It's just about recognizing, okay, this room, this tends to be where we have lots of arguments in the home. There tends to be a lot of tension in this room. What could there be in this room that I could change that may just shift the energy a little bit? And so it might be, down to colors. So again, it's a question that I get asked a lot about. And we use like fiery colors in Feng Shui. So the reds, burgundies, hot pinks. And fire is good because it does bring that energy. Like you need energy in your home. It brings that nourishment. But too much of that can bring stress and anxiety. And so if you look around, say, for example, your kitchen space, if that's where you have a lot of arguments, I was working with a lady in the UK and she had, like the big range cookers, like the big Argas, and she had a big red Arga and red kitchen accessories. So we just found ways of just cooling that red down, and that can make a real impact, just having less of that red, less of that fiery sort of color. I mean, if you wore a completely red outfit, like full on Santa Claus, all day, it would be quite, I don't know, you put on a persona. It's like the whole red lipstick thing. You put on that red lipstick, you feel you've got the power, and, and that's what it's like in the home. It's about, calming those colors down so that there's enough energy, but it's not taking over.
So interesting. I was on your Instagram, and I really recommend that everyone just pauses the podcast for a second, jumps on. We'll put the link in the show notes to Kimberly's Instagram, because it's got so many really great tips. And, I'm a messy person. I'm a bit messy. I just, there's a lot going on. I just am not the best, especially with my clothes. And it's sort of been a bit of a rolling joke between my husband and myself. And you did a reel about the energy that clothes hold.
Yeah.
And oh my goodness, it made me completely rethink that whole thing. Because it's not just about, okay, I've got my, jeans on the floor. You gave it a really, a completely different meaning. So are you able to tell our listeners, could you just explain a little bit about, clothes and the energy that it holds and how that works with Feng Shui?
I mean, I know before I start this, I know it sounds utter madness, and there's probably people listening to this going, what on earth is she going to tell us now about clothes?
The suspense.
Love it.
Are you ready? So clothes hold an energy. Like, we go outside in them. They have been to work with us, or like for kids, they go to school in these clothes, and they hold that energy throughout the day. And, you know that if you've got an important meeting or something, you're like, I'm going to wear this, this outfit because this makes me feel good. So you've already associated a certain energy with these clothes. And by then leaving them out in your bedroom, because that's where most of our wardrobes are, that those clothes being out will hold that energy still. And so then if you're trying to sleep in that area, that energy is going to be circling around and is more than likely going to impact your sleep. And not only that, if you're going to work and you don't necessarily enjoy your job, and you have your work clothes, and quite often we dress differently for work. Like, we have a work clothes or maybe a uniform that you wear. And by keeping that out, you're energetically never actually stopping being at work, because the energy is circulating your home, but also just by seeing it, you're seeing that the whole time. And so, there's somebody on it, she's got a different section in her wardrobe for clothes that aren't dirty, but don't need washing yet. They don't need washing yet, but they're like, she wants to keep them separate. So she actually has a separate piece in her wardrobe for clothes that she has worn. And, I am not naturally tidy either. I'm really not. And it's hard work for me to keep putting stuff away the whole time. But especially if you have kids at school, I really recommend putting their uniforms away at the end of the day. So whether it needs washing or, my daughter wears a dress and a shirt. So the shirt goes in the wash, but the dress goes back in a separate area. Things like school blazers and hats, like that energy, especially if they've had a really tough day at school. And you keep that out for them, even on a Sunday night, putting their uniform out ready for the next day, they're like, oh, school's coming. Like, it's the end of the weekend. So it's just remembering that even clothes, handbags, shoes, all of that really hold an energy. And so by putting it away and out of your bedroom, you're just increasing the chances of being able to sleep better.
Yeah. And when you say, sorry, Chloe, when you say putting it away, does that mean like if you've got like a walk-in wardrobe, does that work, or does it have to be a space like with a door that's closed?
No, I think a walk-in wardrobe. So this is my first walk-in wardrobe. I'm very proud of it. I've never had one before. The downside of it is that everyone can see that I don't have things in order or colour coordination or any sort of order. But that is still a way, because in your head, you've hung it up and it's a way, and it's not.
Okay.
When you walk out of sight, out of mind.
Totally. And it makes you feel nice. Like, arrange your stuff in a nice way. Like, it just feels in a calm space.
Yeah.
Yes. I hate it. And I don't often use the word hate, but it does irk me when my husband will come home and we've got in our bedroom, we've got like beautiful curves and gorgeous window with the drapes and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, he'll come and just drop his tradie clothes like just on the floor. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, we have this brand new home and you're just dropping your yucky
dirty clothes
on the ground, and that's it. And I was like, I'll wear it tomorrow. No, well, cool. So now he needs to put that away. He shouldn't be re-wearing them tomorrow. They're gross.
Well, do you know what? I think it's different. I don't know if boys think differently, or like if you're going to work and you're going to go and get filthy again, you're a bit like, well, what's the point in putting clean ones on again?
Yeah.
But I also did a reel about this, about living. It's difficult when you have different personalities to your partner. I'm trying to put this really, really.
I really like the way that you framed that.
And sometimes they may be more messy than you might like. So therefore, let them have a designated messy space. So my husband's walk-in wardrobe looks very different to mine because he's the same. Like he doesn't put it really away. But also I'm like, I'll be damned if I'm going to go in there and put it away for you.
Yeah,
I could, and then it would look all nice and neat, but I'm like, I'm not your mum, so no. So let them have their space. So rather than putting them on the floor, put them in his area.
Okay.
And then by allowing them to have that, they then feel like, I don't know, I've got my space, like it's fine. I can put my stuff there. And they don't feel that you're sort of taking over every bit of their life. But then you can almost just put it out of your mind and be like, he has that space, that's fine. He can put his stuff in there however he likes. And the rest of the home is fine.
And could that space be in the bedroom, or should that be in a separate area? Like the laundry, he can put his clothes, or the
totally
the cupboard for him.
In the shed.
Or even a cupboard. Slowly just move everything out into
his walk-in
the
wardrobe is the shed. There you go.
His bedroom's the shed.
So I would, if you can, have it in something that you can close the lid. So it's like shoe racks. If you have, you can put shoes in, but have a lid that you can put on it.
Oh, so don't leave your shoes out.
Well, again, these have energy. So like, I don't want people to think like, oh my goodness, I'm going to put everything away. And believe me, I'm constantly chasing down shoes in our house and sort of throwing them into everybody's cupboard. But, they have energy. And I speak about like laundry baskets as well, like laundry bins, having ones that are open versus the ones that have lids on, because those dirty clothes, yes, they're put away, but they're still breathing that energy around in your bedroom when we have them where we sleep. And I know
I've got to do a lot. I've got a lot of remedies.
It's kind of easy though.
No, but it is easy. It's easy stuff to change. Yeah.
And I think the thing to do is pick out, what is it in your home that you would like to change? Like what area is it? And start room by room and just work through. Remember that people are allowed to have their spaces and they can organize whatever organized is for them. It might be very different to your version of organized. But if stuff has like a bin, you wouldn't have an open kitchen bin,
No.
You'd have the lid on it. And yes, it's because it's got an odor, but it's the same with clothes. It's just putting a lid on things.
Sense. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
So much sense.
Yeah.
I love it.
So if we went like room by room, or just, the bedroom is where we are at the moment, is there a better placement for the bed, or is there...
You shouldn't have a mirror opposite the bed, is that right?
Yeah, so it's so funny. I think this is what happens with Feng Shui, is that everyone hears these like rumours and then like you end up going, I can't have a sleeping bed in my bedroom. Like,
exactly.
It's just...
We've got to knock down the house and start again.
And our homes aren't built for Feng Shui, and it's fine. Like, we moved into our home, it was fully furnished when we bought it. So there are absolutely things in our bedroom that we shouldn't have. We have a TV, we have a fan above the bed. Like, if you read all these things on Feng Shui, you shouldn't have them. But you know what? I need a fan because I'm getting really hot at the minute. So that's staying. The TV, I'm not going to take down because it's massive and then I'll have to replace it and it's just too much work.
There'll be a big hole in the wall.
Exactly. And you know that it's just going to open a can of worms. So in terms of bed placement, the ideal thing is to have it against a solid wall, so not against a window. And the reason for that is because the wall will give you solidarity. It gives you that feeling of strength, that you don't need to worry, and that then will aid your sleep. Whereas being underneath a window, it's more fragile, it's sort of less strong, and it might make you feel slightly more anxious. So that's where that theory comes from.
Great. Yeah.
And having a wooden bed, like a wooden headboard versus a metal one that has, you know,
Oh, yes.
sharp daggery sort of looking, you know, pieces on
Ornate,
it.
kind of.
Yes. Yeah,
Yes.
because again, it gives you that strength. And then we then move under the bed. And ideally, in Feng Shui, you'd have a bed that had legs so that the energy can then basically move underneath, move behind you, and so the good energy can constantly
We
flow.
have got that. We have got that.
We don't have
and there's
legs.
nothing under the bed.
Don't worry, we don't have that. And it also has storage underneath the bed.
One thing I've got.
Yeah.
The storage underneath.
Take it. The bed is fine.
Tick,
The
tick,
bed is
tick.
fine.
Right.
And the storage underneath the bed, there's a theory about this, that storing things underneath the bed, like storage is an issue for a lot of people, that there's never enough places to store things. So we do often use the storage underneath the bed. But I would say just think about storing soft things underneath your bed. So like jumpers, bedding, towels, rather than like shoes, bags, toys. I worked with a lady whose child didn't sleep very well, and then we discovered that they kept all of their ski equipment underneath where she slept. And if you think energetically, like the skis are sharp, they're metal, like it's, you know, when you start to think of it in terms of like energy, you tend to see things slightly differently. So just thinking about what's underneath your bed is also important. And then the door placement, it can impact. So if you can see the door directly in front of you, the theory behind that is that it's going to make you feel more anxious because you're constantly seeing what's happening, what's coming. Like it's not out of sight, out of mind. It's right in front of you. So by having an entrance that's slightly to the side, so quite a lot of hotel entrances will be to the side. So you can see what's coming, but it is out of sight and out of mind.
Yeah. So for a lot of people, we move into a house, we can't really, like, there's one place the bed can be. So like the current room we're in, there's one option for the bed and that's just where the bed will be.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you do happen to have a window above it or the doors in the wrong way, like are there, I know you mentioned before, remedies.
Yes.
Are there certain things that you can put
absolutely
around those areas?
Everything, in my opinion, there's a workaround for everything. And our bed is underneath a window. Like I walked into our bedroom, I was like, and there's no other option for it. So we're
not buying the house, no.
I know. So it's got a solid blind on the window. So again, it sort of shuts it off completely. And then it was more luck than judgment because the bed was here, but the bed has got a really solid headboard. So if you are underneath a window, try and give yourself that feeling of solidarity and of strength by having a solid headboard behind you.
Yes. Okay.
And then if you are opposite a door, try just sort of closing it a little bit at night time, not completely, but just so that you're not looking straight out. And I guess the thing is, I always work with, if it's not broken, don't try to fix it. So if you do sleep well and your bed is underneath a window and you can see straight out and you've got a mirror opposite your window, then that's fine. Like good on you. You can sleep through that. So most of the time it's when I work with people, they're like, do you know what? My children have more energy than they really should, and it ends in arguments every night. What can we do in their bedroom? So that tends to be where I focus on. So when I work with people, I'll ask them a question like, is there anything specific that you would like me to work on? And it's either children, or it can be bringing in sort of more romance and love into their lives. And then there's things that we can then do rather than saying, oh my gosh, we need to change your whole house. It's not good. You know, it's just not practical. And I think that's maybe where people get put off with Feng Shui.
Yeah. And Kimberly, is there, in terms of, I remember reading about like bedside tables, that bedside tables are good for sort of anchoring some of the good energy around the bed. Is that correct? Or what's the thinking about bedside tables?
So for me, I mean, they're really practical, right? So they're great to have on the side of the bed. the tip that I tend to give people is, whether you're in a relationship or not, and you're looking for a relationship, is having equal things on the side of the bed. So if you have one bedside table, have two. So say, for example, you are in a relationship, I would have whatever you have either side mirrored, because then you're looking at creating equal balance between the two of you. So one of you isn't the king or queen with the, you know, the only bedside lamp by the side of them. You are both equal. You have equal thrones, you know, in the house for your power, really, which I know sounds a bit mad, but so that's
it's a good way of looking at it. Yeah.
And so you both have the bedside tables on your, you know, lamps on the tables if you want them. And also, you know, if you're somebody who likes a cushion on the bed, I'm just looking now, like you would have equal cushions on equal side of the bed. So it gives you that feeling of equality. But it does, you know, the thing is with having the bedside tables, it's like cocooning yourself in. And the analogy I often use is a bit like when you fly, and you fly economy, and you've got loads of noise around you, and there's nothing sort of shutting you off from what's beside of you. And you go to business and you have a little bit more, and then you go to first, and then you're completely cocooned in. And that's a bit like your bed. Having nothing by the side of you you feel very open, and that the energy open to all the elements. And then having something around you is that first class feel of just having like, I feel like I can completely switch off. I can completely relax because I'm cocooned in my little space.
Yeah. Lovely.
I want to fly first class all the time.
I mean, that'd be quite nice, wasn't it?
I'll take once. I'll take once.
I know. I did send Holly Branson a message. Funny enough, she's not come back to me, saying, "What about Feng Shui an airplane? How cool would that be?"
Oh yes, absolutely.
You're going to do that. I can see it.
Yeah,
I can see it happening.
I think it's that all super yachts, I think, is what I'd like to do. Yeah. Basically, I'm sort of working back from where I want to be and being like, how can I somehow incorporate Feng Shui?
How is that going to be in my world? I love that. Is there anything that we need to, you know, that you would suggest that we ditch? Or I know we've talked about decluttering.
Yes.
Like, is there anything in the home that would be easy for our listeners just to like kind of go, right, I'm looking around now, I need to get rid of this because it will increase the energy?
I think, so not only is there the physical barrier of having stuff around your home, there's also a bit of a mental toll on stuff. And my rule is, if you were going to move house, would you take it with you?
Oh.
And if you don't, then it doesn't deserve to be in your home now.
Yeah.
And also the stuff that you have, does it bring you joy and happiness, or does it make you sad? Because I'm often asked about family pictures of people that have passed away, and, you know, do you keep them, or from previous relationships? Like somebody said, well, I'm divorced now, but I want to keep my wedding album to show my kids. It's not necessarily a happy time for me, but, you know, and so my rule is, whatever makes you happy and brings you joy or has huge sentimental value, then what's the point in keeping it in your home? And it's sometimes, you know, if you think you're going to start from scratch. So we moved over here with our suitcases and that's it. We didn't ship anything over. So I feel so free. Like even my clothes, I didn't bring rubbish clothes with me. You know, like the daggy shorts and the t-shirt that you put on, like I didn't bring any of that with me. So everything I put on is my nice stuff. Like, and it's so nice because normally, like I'd bought a pair of jeans with me that I think I'd only worn twice in the UK because they cost me a lot of money, and now they're my daily jean and I love putting them on. Like it's so nice and freeing because you're wearing your nice stuff. So it's your clothes, it's the books, it's the photos, it's the great aunt so-and-so gave me this, I feel I should keep it because she gave it to me, but actually I hate it. So that's that. And then the other thing, and I it's my only like no are artificial plants.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
I'm okay.
I hate artificial
I'm
plants.
not really.
I sort of have to
I think they're a bit tacky.
Yeah.
Sorry for anyone.
No, It's fine. I feel that I have to, like, I say it and then I have to watch for people.
Watch the reaction. No, we're happy. That's good. That's good.
Reactions.
Tick, tick, tick.
Tell us why.
I feel that there's going to be this graveyard of artificial plants after everybody. And then they're like, well, what do I do with it? Because if I give it to a charity shop, then someone else is going to be taking it back to their home. I'm like, do you know what? That's their choice. That's fine.
Yes.
So the reason behind artificial plants is that Feng Shui is about life and energy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And an artificial plant brings nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a bit like having a blank canvas on your wall. You wouldn't have something that's blank. You would want to look at it. You want to bring joy to everything that you have on your wall. So an artificial plant it's trying to be life, but it's never going to get there.
Yeah.
And quite often, it's the same with dried flowers.
I was about to ask that. I was about to ask about these
I've got dried flowers.
Yes.
There's some up there that I hate. I've been meaning to chuck them out. But yes.
Okay.
And we just keep them. And yes, they look pretty, but they gather dust.
No, we hate them.
It's almost like when the energy's coming around your home and they go past them, the energy just goes, oh.
Well, guys, that is all we have time for today for part one of our interview with the amazing Kimberly Gallagher. Oh my goodness, what a wealth of knowledge and so many cool things that we can think more about. In part two, which will be dropping next week, we cover all sorts of other things, including crystals, ashes of pets and loved ones, and we also talk all about Christmas and Christmas decorations. So make sure that you subscribe to The Selfish Podcast with Chloe and Steph. You can also jump onto our Instagram at the.selfishpodcast and give us a follow. And if you've enjoyed what you've heard today, please do share it with a friend. We look forward to chatting to you next week. Thanks again for listening. Bye.